you. Y'all keep clapping. I can wipe the tears from my eyes. So y'all be seated. Thank you so very much. Listen, am I the luckiest guy in the world, huh? And let's give it up for Nita Cagle one more time. She is absolutely remarkable. And I tell you, back in those early days, back at Johnson High School when we were dating, you think to the future, and I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that my path would lead us to this place with three wonderful boys and these two beautiful daughter-in-laws and the third one on its way, and then our three little grandbabies. It is a happy, happy season of life, and so we are so honored and to have Grant here with us. And part of our family, as many of you probably know, sadly enough, was not able to be here in the passing of Mike Shannon, our daughter-in-law's father. And it's been a very, very difficult couple of days for us. But with all of that, keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, challenges that they face. But that's what oftentimes life is about. We don't always know when the mountain is going to come that we're going to have to climb, but we have to always be prepared. And it's wonderful to have people surrounding us that are loving on us and caring for us and helping us get to that place. And tonight really is a culmination of your love and affection and appreciation for what Nita and I are undertaking. And I just want you to know on the front end, we're winning. We're winning, and we're going to keep winning, all right? And we're going to win so much you're going to get tired of winning, I promise. But it is really going well, and we have been crisscrossing the state. I've been to over 159 counties, and really at every single metric, things are going extremely well for us. We were in Rome last week and actually had close to 500 people at a rally there as well. And we're doing these rallies across the state, but it feels so good to be back home and to be with each of you. And I want to share just briefly the things that I am passionate about. I tell people often that I'm not running against anyone for governor. And that's an important point to make. I'm not running for a job, and I'm not running for a position because I don't need one. I'm running to make a difference. You see, it's about the vision of this state and moving it to a place of greater economic prosperity where no one is left behind. And I will tell you that we're expected to grow by 4.5 million people in less than 15 years. To think about the size and the scope of that number of people that are coming to our state, some of us might kind of cringe, but I'm excited about it, because it gives me as a governor an opportunity to not just plan, but to shape what that growth is going to look like. And to do that, yes, we're going to need more infrastructure across our state. We all witnessed what took place when the I-85 bridge collapsed. What we saw that our infrastructure was built for about half the size of the population that we are today. But what we also witnessed is when government gets out of the way and you incentivize the private sector to do what it does best, you can build a bridge back in 45 days. And that's exactly what we did. And that's the great lesson. That is the great lesson, not just simply looking to government to solve all of our problems, but creating greater incentive for the private sector to do what they do best. And I will tell you, we didn't get to be the #1 state to do business in by accident. It takes leadership. And I've had the great privilege of serving with two governors, both Sonny Perdue, but also Nathan Deal. And I want you to know, I've seen the governorship up close and personal. I know what it's like to not only have to navigate through difficult public policy issues, but also deal with the economic development opportunities that exist within our state. I know what it's like to be governor. And I've seen how old it makes you as you've been there as well. But what excites me is planning and shaping for what that growth looks like and looking at the infrastructure, building that infrastructure in a 10-year strategic plan, but also expanding broadband across our state, making sure that no one is alienated away from economic prosperity. Today in our economy, we are no longer bound by bricks and mortar. We can do business anywhere in the world, from any corner of our state, if we have access to that superhighway. And so we want to be focused on making sure that we're building out the broadband that allows greater economic opportunities and more entrepreneurs and small businesses to start up. I don't believe you have to be in Atlanta to do business with Atlanta. And we're going to be focused on innovation hubs along with that to allow some of these communities that don't have the strong economy there around them to build that going forward. And what we've witnessed as a result of Governor Deal's leadership and that partnership is that this state has made some strong decisions. And through the decisions of cutting taxes on manufacturing, today we have 35% more manufacturing than we did back before the recession. But along with that, we really didn't have a movie industry in Georgia, but we did a tax incentive there. And today it's almost a $10 billion industry within our state. You see, we are poised for even greater prosperity. When you look at our GDP that's grown almost 30% since 2011, where venture capital has increased over 400 times, those are the right indicators that Georgia is on the right track, the track that allows every single person to have good paying jobs, where they can provide for their family, where they can see a vision that is going to be exciting and compelling to them. But in order to continue the momentum going forward, the greatest issue that we have to be confronted with is making sure that we have a world-class workforce that is second to none. And I will tell you, absolutely. And I will tell you, I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all educational system. I think education has to align with industry needs. And the reality is that I believe, within that vision, I believe in an academic floor for all students to achieve to. But within the floor can be no cracks for students to drop between. But there can also be no ceiling that holds any student back from going as far and as high as they want to go. Are we going to need more doctors and lawyers and eminent scholars and Rhodes Scholars? Absolutely. But we're also going to need more plumbers and electricians as well. We need to make sure that every industry, every single industry, has the skilled workforce that they need in order to thrive and to grow and to penetrate the marketplace and allow us to be that beacon of hope as a state. I believe that we can do that. But I will also say, as a quick little joke, and we've got a couple of doctors in the room, I love telling the doctor and the plumber joke where the doctor has a plumbing problem and he calls the plumber up, and the plumber comes over to fix his plumbing problem, and he gets it done. He's there for about an hour, and all of a sudden the doctor says, "How much do I owe you?" And the plumber says, "Well, that'll be $500. And so the doctor looks at the plumber and he says, $500? Are you kidding me? I'm a doctor. I don't make $500 an hour." Plumber looks at the doctor and says, "Well, when I was a doctor, I didn't make $500 an hour either." And I will tell you, that is the reality of getting back to a place to where we celebrate all forms of work, where there's dignity in all work. My grandfather taught me that all work that's honest work is good work. And as a society, when we begin creating those opportunities, all of a sudden great things can happen. And that's why I've committed myself to the College and Career Academy Network, that today we have 46 of those where kids can explore the various career pathways and decide what it is they want right there in high school, where we're transforming the junior and senior year to give them the skills that they need, either through the technical college with an industry certification or a 2-year degree from a post-secondary partner, giving them a tangible value that they can take to the marketplace. And I will tell you, in one of our college and career academies in Decatur, they have a partnership with DeVry in health IT. They are graduating from high school with an associate's degree already under their belt. And guess what? The demand is so high for those particular individuals. It's not $30,000 a year that they're making. It's not $40,000. It's $60,000 a year minimum. And they can't produce enough. What happens when we create an environment to where kids see so much opportunity. They see a value proposition that makes them be motivated more than they've ever been motivated before. They're fighting to get into school versus fighting to get out. That's the kind of future that we want, not just in education, but in every facet of our state. And as governor, I want to make sure that we're opening up more choice and more opportunities, not just college and career academies, but I want to make sure that we're doing more with our German apprenticeship program that I did, which is the first of its kind here in America. We were able to lead that. More dual enrollment, more opportunities for kids. That is the key. And when we do that, that pipeline of workers will be dynamic. And when companies are looking to expand, existing companies are looking to expand, they'll have the workforce to do it. But those other companies that are looking, where do we want to locate? It's going to be right here in our state because we have that workforce that is second to none. The last thing that I want to touch on that I think is equally as important is that we have 25% of our kids today that live in poverty. 25% of our kids live in poverty. We have 40 counties across our state that have 40+% poverty issues. I will tell you that the challenges that they face are real. They don't necessarily know where their next meal is going to come from. They don't know if they are going to have parental involvement in their life on a regular basis. And these are the challenges that are real. That's why I believe in community resource centers, partnering with not-for-profit to do wraparound services to help those individuals. Because, you see, I believe that if we begin to build a Georgia that is focused on the infrastructure and economic development and economic prosperity, and we're giving our kids the ability to gain the knowledge and skills that they need, and we give them the wraparound services, no matter where they start from, they can always end up successfully if we're there to help them through that process. I want to be a governor that's going to stand in the gap and fight for those individuals. And I have a record of doing that. The reason that I care about the issue of poverty and making sure that we have a safety net, but the safety net doesn't become a hammock, it becomes a trampoline to spring them up into greater economic prosperity, is because it's my story. My mom, stand up, she's here tonight. Now give her a round of applause. My dad left when I was 3 years old, and she raised me by herself. Most of those early years were spent. Most of those early years were spent in a little single-wide trailer. And I can tell you, I remember walking in and seeing her kneeling by her bed saying her prayers, asking for God's provision for me and for her. You see, she didn't just teach me the value of faith, she taught me the value of hard work as well, because she worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. She was determined to never be trapped or allow me to be trapped in that set of circumstances. And I say that not just to honor her, but if she can do it, and I can be the guy that stands on the stage today as Lieutenant Governor and your next governor, then others can do it too. That's the vision. That's what we want as a state, where no one is left behind, and that we're doing all that we can to ensure that people can fulfill their dreams, their hopes in a great state. I'm going to make sure that I'm committed to those individuals, but I'm going to make sure that we are adding 500,000 jobs to this great state in the first 4 years, making sure that we continue to be a low-tax state, a low regulatory environment, to where our tort system is fair and just, but a workforce that is second to none. And when we do that, I can promise you, the state of Georgia will be a beacon to the entire nation, if not the world. We are already the capital of the South, but we are always better when our reach is just a little bit further than we can imagine. I want to take us to a new level. And together, with your help, we're going to be able to do it. I can't thank you enough. You could have chosen to be anywhere on a Sunday, rainy Sunday afternoon, but you chose to be with me. And I am honored by it. And I want to thank all the host committee that put this together, and each and every one of you, along with my family, for being a part of this. I'm excited about the journey, and I'm excited about being your next governor as well. Thank you all, and God bless you.